Well, hello, hello, hello. Well, it is dinner time, and hopefully the internet will cooperate with me. It's giving me a bit of fuss right now, so we are just going to give it a go and see if we can get it to work. That's always a fun part. Adjust the light here so it's actually shining where I need it to shine. There we go. That's better. So you can see we got some stuff out already. Xbox clips, how you doing? We're gonna let you know what was selected. Oh, can you look for that little blue book, please? I think the selections were on there. I think it's in that container there. I think it's with the blue that blue book, I think. All right, so we are getting things set up here. No, the blue book's in there. The log book's in there. I think it's with it. So we are doing our weekly. Yeah, there it is. That's what we need right there. Thank you. So we got our list here for what meal was selected. So we're going to be going with that in just a moment. Okay. Find my. Oh, here it is. So we got a little bit of a setup change in the truck, in the kitchen, as it were. So we're going to be adapting here a little bit. So bear with me. This is the old folding camp table that I've had for a while. So this is going to be kind of like the first cooking videos where the table was really low. So we're going back to that. A little rolling cart that I built, was no longer a useful thing. It was just in the way more than anything else. I can't, one that's not going in. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna be making some changes for how we get some things done here, but this week we're going to be kind of going back in time a little bit with the height of the table. You can see how much lower that is because I had it up to here with the little cart that I had under it. But we're working on how to raise that up to be a little bit better. But we need this space open more on a daily basis. With two people in the truck now versus one, it just takes a bit more time, and we have to make a change to make sure we can do things as good as possible. No, we'll just make do with this, and like I said, I gotta make that a little bit safer to use. But like I said, we got the Instant Pot going. We already got some rice going in there. We've seen rice made, so we're not going to worry about that too much. So we're still playing with things a little bit here. So, but here's the thing: the winner of the actual selection for the menu. Which let's run through the little note here again. What the actual menu choices were. So number one was chicken and corn chowder with some rolls. Number two, enchiladas. Three, tuna croquettes and pinwheel potatoes. Number four, Mongolian beef and broccoli. Number five, breakfast of some type. Well, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 6 votes this week, which is a little bit underwhelming. I thought putting the vote up a little bit earlier would garner more votes, Hey, Salty Dog, how you doing? Welcome on in. So I just went through the menu selection. So, like I said, chicken and corn chowder, enchiladas, tuna croquettes, Mongolian beef and broccoli, and breakfast of some type. We had 6 whole votes for the week. Now I thought putting it up earlier, like I said, was going to garner more votes, but it didn't. I can't blame people for that. Yeah, Salty Dog, breakfast is never a big one, but we're going to make a little bit of call outs here. Unlike before, we just said what won. So Bonnie Marie Kilgore and Angela M. Soto, i.e. Trucker Girl Kiana, voted for number 1. Number 2, the enchiladas, got no votes whatsoever. Number 3, the tuna croquettes and pinwheel potatoes, Wanda Wyatt, fellow truck driver, she voted for that. Number 4, S. Banks, Brad Parks, Matt Hazelden, and Carol Spomer all voted for number 4, the Mongolian beef and barbecue, or beef and broccoli. I want to say beef barbecue. It's on my mind. Number 5, breakfast, got no votes. Oh well. So the beef and broccoli, Mongolian beef and broccoli, is what we're going to do. So like I said, we got a bit of rice started already. We've seen that 100 times. I'm not going to waste time showing that again. So we got some chuck roast, salt and pepper, bit of oil, sesame seeds, ginger. We got some fresh garlic, and we got minced garlic. We're going to use my new garlic press. We're not going to use the mince. We're going to do fresh. Why not? Let's be theatrical. We got a bit of cornstarch. Got a good bit of green onion. Bit of soy sauce. Trash bag is what I need. If I can get it out of there. We'll throw that little bit of trash in there. And also we got a little bit of brown sugar, which is going into the sauce. We could put a little bit of yellow onion in there, but that's not a traditional normal thing for that. So regular onion we're going to be leaving out. We're going to be using a more green onion in the base of it and as the topping. So we got to deal with that. And of course, up in here, more fun, some good old broccoli. There we go. Just throw that on the floor, I guess. So, hey, Linda Barker, how you doing? Always nice to see you. So we got a few tools, knife, some spatula for the rice, little whisk to mix the sauce up, little wok, couple of spoons, and we got a knife around here somewhere. We got a knife here. So we're going to basically do a normal thing, put things together, cook them up. Now we have made a few improvements in case you have missed it. The normal little tray, the little cart that I had under here, underneath the table here, I disassembled that. We're using that. I'm going to use that wood for a few other little small projects, improvements. But at the same time, on the back wall right behind me, these baskets here, these 2 here, have been here for a while. I put 2 more up right here so we gain a little bit more space. And also, in case you missed it, this is the kitchen cabinet. That's the passenger seat right there. This is our kitchen cabinet. We have kitchen stuff up there, pots and pans here. We got my printer right there. A kitchen cabinet. Built this insert here, all 1/2-inch plywood, screws. Got some glides for pull-out drawers. Little utility drawer for all the utensils, knives, little sharpener, spoons, spatulas, whatnot. Got a big cabinet on the bottom, big open area on the bottom. Sliding drawer here for basically all just ingredient type stuff. All the utensils, most of the canned goods would be on this one. Got my ramen bowl here and a couple of cups. All the Japanese stuff that goes up here. And then we got a few large utensils in the door. Got a cutting board up on top. Like I said, just trying to make it as good as useful as possible. Open face turkey sandwich. Can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with a good turkey sandwich. Especially in, 30-something days? just a little over 30 days. We're going to be getting into Thanksgiving. A good turkey, roasted up, mashed potatoes, a little bit of stuffing, a nice little vegetable go with that, some good gravy. And then, of course, the thing that I miss the most, pumpkin pie, but I'll try to figure that out. And also, even more important, leftover turkey sandwiches. That's the real highlight of the meal. So there we go. Well, we're not doing too bad on the weight there, Salty Dog. But, we are going to, we are paring things down a little bit. Yeah, we added another person to the truck, so clothes and toiletries and everything else like that does add weight to the truck, but we make do. So we just got to be a little more careful in how we do certain things. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. Kane Henson, how you doing? Sunday dinner, we are doing Mongolian beef. There we go. So like I said, we had 7 votes. 7 votes for the entirety of, this. Hey, over 50 and Fit Tablets, Sister Lynn, how you doing? So, number 1, let me go back through this real quick. Number 1 was chicken and corn chowder. Bonnie Marie Kilgore and Angela M. Soto, i.e. Trucker Girl Kiana, voted for number 1. Number 2, enchiladas, got no votes. Number 3, tuna croquettes and pinwheel potatoes, 1 vote from Wanda Wyatt. They're on Facebook, another fellow truck driver. Number 4, got 4 votes, which is the Mongolian beef and broccoli. S. Banks, Brad Parks, Matt Hazelden, and Carol Spomer all voted for number 4. Number 5 was breakfast of whatever we did, and that got no votes. So there you go. Less votes than I thought we would be getting, but you do what you can. All right, so we are going to... I've got my towels here. Never mind. So we're going to take a little bit of a clean towel here. Now we've had our beef nice and thawed out. Yep. We're going to try to leave as much of the juice, i.e. blood, in there as we can, because we don't really want that in our meal this time. We're not doing a French meal. We're doing more of that, so we're going to dry off our meat. And no, I'm not worried about getting my regular towels dirty. I put them in the washing machine and wash them like you would at home. I'm going to throw that on the floor, get that out of the way. So now we got a little bit of, we got our beef right here. This is basically a little over 3/4 of a pound of beef. This is a chuck roast. So we got a nice sharp knife, has been sharpened. So we're going to slice that and get a nice thin pieces. Now the first little bits, of course, are going to be a little funky, but a little bit of fat in there. But we want to get those, fairly thin. And we're slicing across the grain of the meat, which is going to help to make them a little bit more tender. And we're kind of angling these just a little bit to get a little bit larger bite pieces. Now, if this was a flank steak or a tenderloin or another cut, it would definitely be a little bit more regular, pardon me, in the piece size, but because this is a butchered piece of chuck roast, things are going to be a little bit different. Now, each little piece is going to have a little slightly different shape, but we're going to have a good time with it anyway. So we're going to get this sliced up. And then we're going to throw a little bit of cornstarch on there to kind of coat them. Then we're going to basically, I don't want to say deep fry, but pan fry the beef. Yeah, like that. There we go. Hey, Mr. Ross Romes, all the way from beautiful London, England. Always nice to have you, sir. Do appreciate it. Grab my little wipes here for my hand and my tools. So we're going to wipe that down real quick. And not because I'm worried about cross-contamination. We're not in a restaurant. We're not in a hospital. We're normal people. At least I think I'm normal. I think somebody else staring at me might dispute that, but yeah, who wants to be normal anyway? Wanda Wyatt, how you doing? Welcome in. You did not win this week's selection. We're making Mongolian beef with broccoli, so we are not doing the tuna. But I do thank you for voting. All right, so we're going to move that out the way. We're going to grab a spoon here. So, bit of cornstarch. We got our beef all nice and sliced up. A little bit of heaping spoon there. We're not trying to be too accurate. We're gonna be messy though. So there you go. So better than spilling the flour last week. We're just making a little mess of that. So we're just gonna take our cornstarch here. We're just gonna mix that in there. Just get all those surfaces covered. That's going to help the surface of the beef, crisp up a little bit more when we fry it, which is part of the technique and the texture that we're looking for in Mongolian beef. Now, anybody who's ever been to P.F. Chang's will have their recipe. You know, you can find a mock recipe for that fairly easily online, right on YouTube. So we're going to let that sit off to the side for a moment. Wipe off the excess here. Clean this off too while we're at it. Get out the way. Dry that off. Dry this off. And when the rice is done, here in just a little bit more than a minute, we're going to turn the rice off. We're going to set up our pan to fry our beef. And while we're doing that, we're going to get other things prepared. We're going to get ourselves a little bowl here to do a little bit more prep work. So we're going to take 4 of these green onions here. Rice is done. Let's set that off to the side. Huh? What? No, I'm just going to fry it in the pan because the way it's been cut and it's been tenderized already, it's going to be tender. You right here, feel what we got. We'll feel it. Yeah, so we're going to clean up our onion here real quick. And our trash bag, there we go. We're just going to take off the little root ends here, because that can be a little bit tough. Then we're going to strip off the outer leaf. Right there. There's 1, 2. 3 and 4. There we go. And then we're just going to switch those around here to put it on the side that I prefer working on. Hey, Trucker Girl Kiana, how you doing? So we're just going to trim these up to get rid of the little bit of desiccated bits there. And I think that's about as good as we're going to get. Because we do not have the best refrigerator in the world, you got to compromise a little bit. So we're going to take those. Now, what I typically do with green onions, the whiter it is, the smaller the piece is. And then you get a little bit larger as you go up in the green. So we're going to... So each, it's always a little bit larger as you go up. Cut that one in half, just be on the front side. Now that just helps with the cooking process, because the further you go up on the leaf of a green onion, the more hollow it becomes less dense. So to cook them at the relatively same time, you have to cut them in a little bit different sizes. Not a big deal. We got a bit of ginger here. Let's see. Cut that nub off there. We don't need a lot of ginger, but that does smell good. That does smell good. And we got a Ziploc bag here. You want another piece? Well, I'm being asked to put another piece in there, so we're gonna another piece there. I guess somebody wants it more gingery. All right, so we'll stick that away so that can keep. We may be adding a touch of water to that later so that stays properly hydrated. So we're going to take that. We're just going to quickly slice that and dice it. You want real fine or really fine? Okay. We're just going to turn that. And we're just going to keep chopping until we get really small pieces. Now, a mortar and pestle would be really good for this, to really mash it, but you know, you always peeled it. I have never peeled ginger ever. Yeah. Get that little bugger too. There we go. All right, so we're gonna take that ginger. We're gonna set that right here as well. So most everything else is ready to go. That can go out the way.
We need that for the slurry.
Yes, we need that. Thank you. So everything with the cutting board is pretty much done. Clean this off real quick. Dry that off. What?
Sesame seeds on the side after they're toasted.
Yeah, we'll get that done. All right, let's get that out the way. Ouch. Sorry. There we go. There we go. All right, so we got ourselves, hey, Lori's Crochet Corner, how you doing? Welcome on in. We're gonna get this put away here. If I can get these things out the way. That put up. And that's the thing with the, like I said, with being in a truck, it's not like, you know, being any kind of regular kitchen. You got to move stuff to move stuff to move stuff just to get anything really done. Hey, Huay, how you doing? To be honest, I've never really worried about that because every time I stop at night, I check, you know, or before I start in the morning, I do my pre-trip inspection. That's one of the basic things. Every time I stop for a load check, a 30-minute break, anytime I stop at a weigh station or anything, no matter where I stop, I check that to make sure that's still in proper place. It's one of those 2-second things I just never deal with, you know, because it's just, okay, yep, it's good. Like, you know, just have a quick look. All right, so we are good. So we got the main part of this is done. Now, a little bit of ginger is prepped, the onions prepped, the beef is done, rice is done. We gotta fry the beef up. So we're gonna take a little wok here. We're gonna get that hot. And we're going to toast a little bit of sesame seed. If I hold the thing right. This is white sesame seed. Now, I don't know how many types of sesame seed there are. This is a fairly small seed. So, red chili. I'll get the red. Okay, no problem. I can get the thing open. So we're going to toast a little bit of this up. Need some red chili flake. And what do we got? because we want to just have a little bit of spice besides just regular pepper. So a little bit of crushed red pepper, some big old chilies that you actually get the fresh seed out of would give it a little bit more of a complex flavor. So we're waiting for that to get a little warm there. So we're going to put some of that in there. I think that's good. Now, this is not where you're trying to pop popcorn. You want to toast it, not burn it. So really watching the temperature. You're trying to activate some of the oil that's still present in the seed to release some flavor, to bring out a little more of that nuttiness. So. You want to keep them moving, and they're already starting to take on a little bit of color. So we need to get a cup here. Yeah, where's my cup at? We're gonna take our soba cup here. So we're just trying to activate a little more of that flavor that's in there. And a nice dry pan, they're not going to stick. So that's about all we need. So this is going to sit off to the side for a moment. The pan's going to continue to get hotter and hotter. Yeah. So we're just going to use a bit of canola oil. Olive oil has a lower burn temperature or smoke temperature. Butter is even lower than olive oil. I wish I had a small thing of peanut oil. That would be the ideal for me, but now there you go. So our beef has been sitting with the cornstarch, drying out that surface. We're gonna need to keep our spoon with us right off the bat. Yeah, we could use tongs as well. A pair of chopsticks. There you go. So we're gonna get that in there, and basically we're gonna get it in. We're gonna leave it alone for a minute.
We can use that bowl for the sauce.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna add a little
Yeah, we're gonna do that so we can thicken that up. All right. Just gonna clean up a little bit as we go along. But like I said, we're just gonna let the beef do its thing. Get a bit of a crust on it, because that's part of the. Like I said, the texture is as much a part of it as the flavor is. All right, we're good there. We got that going. And then once the beef is done, we'll get the broccoli done real quick. Not going to take a lot of time to do that. Just boiling the water, getting that steamed up. Then we can plate everything, put the sauce with the beef, and we're good to go. There we go. Starting to get some good color on there. But we want to try to keep it even. Now, you could do this in a deep fryer, which is the normal way to do it, in a really deep pan of oil. But we could use the Instant Pot for that, but we're going to do this a little bit faster than that. Plus, I've never actually deep fried in the Instant Pot, so before I do that, I'm going to do that outside the truck to see how it acts when you're actually deep frying. So we're going to let that sit for a little bit more. So while we're doing that, we're going to take a little bit of garlic here. Let me have that, please. Right here. Give my knife. So we're going to peel some garlic here. Get that outer dried paper layer off. And we got a nice IKEA garlic press. We're going to stick one of those. We're going to stick 2 cloves of garlic in. Yeah, we're going to stir it in a sec. There we go. Got our garlic in there. Got the side. Get that nice crust on there. There we go. Get that deep brown going on there. And the cornstarch is helping with that. So that's almost ready to come out. So we're going to take some soy sauce. Yeah, just a moment. If I can get my fat finger in here. There we go. So a little bit of soy sauce. We need a little bit of water for the broccoli too. So, all right. Thank you. We're going to take our ginger and put our ginger in there. Stir the beef again. Got oil there. Gonna turn that off. We do have a trivet, to put that in a little hot plate stand. Put that on, but we're just gonna use a towel, like I normally do. Set it up the side real quick, and we'll take that out in a moment. We're gonna take our garlic press. We're going to squeeze that. We're going to mince that garlic right on through. In there. Just take a spoon here. Get that in there. We'll clean that up in a moment. We need a little bit of brown sugar. Wipe that off real quick. Bit of brown sugar. Set up to the side. And where's my red pepper flakes? There we go. A little bit of red pepper flake. There we go. And we got some brand new salt and pepper shakers or grinders, which even comes with a light so you see what you're doing. Straight on Amazon. We got one for the salt as well. I'm going to take this. We're just going to whisk this all up together. Here we go. We're just going to let that sit off to the side for a moment. And we need another pot here. Grab that. Get that on the pan, on the burner here. Huh? Well, we got to do the broccoli first. Got to get the broccoli on. So we're going to get that. We are already ready. This jug of water lasted 1 day. 1 day. Coffee, cream of wheat, cleaning, dinner. Last night's dinner, I made a ramen, I made soba. So that 1 gallon lasted us 1 day. So we no longer have a microwave, which I barely ever use. So we're gonna get these this broccoli boiled up and steamed up and heated up. And I don't know what I did with my lid. There was a lid in here somewhere. Oh well. I don't know what I did with it. I'll find it in a moment.
It's in one of the cups.
Huh?
It's in one of the cups. It might be that one
Up here? The small lid for that? All right, so we got knife clean, so that can get put away. Stick that in there if I can. There we go. So like I said, we don't need an extra whisk. One whisk is enough, I think. Stick that up in there like that. Like I said, we got our toasted sesames here. We got our sauce ready. We got our green onions ready. Took out a bit more garlic than I needed, but sometimes that's not good. Hey, Jim Harvey, two old vets, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Midlife Trucker, Tom Bell. I've been watching some of your videos lately, sir. A little bit of delay, but thank you for coming in. Fleffinator, how you doing? Welcome in. Tan's World. J Bub, I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing? I do appreciate everybody coming in. So we're making Mongolian beef like it says. And I guess me and Tom Bell, you know, Midlife Trucker, are basically in the same kind of thing. You know, we were not truckers always. We started, you know, kind of late. So, you know, I started when I was 46, 47, 46 years old. I started trucking. Yeah, 46. So 49 and a half now. So, you know, it's working for me. Well, I appreciate everybody who comes in and, you know, enjoying, you know, a bit of food. That's my main vice, is eating. I love to eat. I love cooking. And, you know, I have, you know, I don't use paper plates on the truck. I don't use plastic. So real plates, the real pasta bowls, you know, real coffee cups, ramen bowls that have been imported from Japan, so it's the real deal. I try to have, you know, everything as authentic as I can get it and still make it work for the truck. And in case anybody hadn't seen, here is the kitchen cabinet right behind the passenger seat right here. But built this little insert for the cabinet, sliding drawers for the utensils, regular shelves that slide, you know, real cooking, you know, not fake, you know, pop it in the microwave, printer, pots and pans, other sundries up there, snacks in that little blue bin there, you know, food up in here, you know, main ingredients, bins back here with food and other stuff like that. So, you know, I don't like paper towels, so real cotton towels. So that's how we cook on this truck. Yeah, I mean, so, you know, I was an arborist, a landscaper, a pesticide applicator, a horticulturalist, agronomist, agrologist. You know, I took care of people's yards. I took care of their trees and their shrubs and helped them with vegetable gardens and the insects and diseases and animals and cultural practices. That's what I did for over 30 years. You know, I was moving logs and I was moving, you know, I was pulling down poison ivy and dealing with, you know, rodents and all that other kind of stuff. So I started, like I said, like Midlife Trucker, I started, you know, kind of like a midlife crisis almost. So, you know, hey, Truck Girl Kiana, yeah, get your sleep. Don't be out there unsafe. We don't need that. So like I said, we got a bit of broccoli. We're gonna let that. We're get that warmed through, nice and steamed up. We got some rice made in the rice cooker in the Instant Pot. We got our beef pretty much ready to roll. We're gonna throw that back on the heat. Once the broccoli is done, we'll put the beef back on the heat. We're gonna throw in our sauce here: soy sauce, water, ginger, garlic, a little bit of brown sugar to help thicken it up, help to caramelize it a little bit. That's going to go on the beef. A little bit of red pepper flake in there as well. A little bit of black pepper, just to balance the red pepper out a little bit, so it's not that red pepper. I don't want to say acrid, but a little bit too sharp for the tongue. The black pepper helped to mellow it out just a tiny, tiny bit. Still going to be spicy, hopefully. And if we need to, we can add more at the end, which is always a thing to do. We toasted some sesame seeds, and that'll go on top. So we got those all nice and toasted there. We can barely see them in there. I toasted those up, released some of the nuttiness and flavors that are in there. And we'll have a nice little bowl. We'll top it up with some green onions at the very last moment. We'll throw that right on top. So not too bad. I got this IKEA garlic press, typical IKEA design. Got this through Amazon. So pretty hefty, sturdy design here. And the nice thing about it has a removable cup here to be able to clean a lot easier. Some of the ones that are out there, they're difficult to clean. This little removable thimble-like cup makes cleanup a lot easier, which is always a nice thing to have. All right, let's check our. Need a fork here real quick. That's a spoon. I want a fork. Give me a fork. There we go. Another spoon. I know there's forks in here. There we go. All right, so simple little fork. That's going to take just a little bit longer. Now, most everybody, when they deal with broccoli, they go for the florets, the top fluffy bits. I like the stems. The stems have a little bit more chew to them. They have the broccoli flavor without the florets texture, which I'm not a big fan of the broccoli tops. The stem is where I prefer it. Still a little bit cold in the middle, just a tiny bit cool in the middle. But other than that, it's getting there. So we got some good old kosher salt in here. Add that to the broccoli real quick. Gonna stir that up a little bit. There we go. All right, we are getting close to being done. This is not a particularly difficult recipe. I mean, having sesame oil along with the sesame seeds will definitely bring another dynamic of flavor. Having real, full fruit of the chilies, toasting that and chopping that up and putting it in there in the Mongolian beef. That's also another flavor dynamic that you can easily add. And always fresh is always better than dried, bar none in my book. No, I wish IKEA was paying me for advertising. Now, I will not say everything from IKEA is perfect. when I started truck driving and I moved onto the truck, I had some bowls that were roughly this size, just a tiny bit smaller. Porcelain. I ordered about 10 of them from IKEA. Now, the first thing, it took a month to get them delivered to the house. That was the first, downside. It took a month to deliver 10 bowls. Hey, DMV Dining Diva, how you doing? Like it says on the screen, we're doing Mongolian beef and broccoli with a little bit of rice, and hopefully we'll come. Diana SFNG, how you doing? Always a pleasure to have you back in. So, I had those bowls, but they were so fragile. You could, it's not a Corel. A Corel plate will take a beating. You can drop it once or twice on a hard surface and it's okay. These things just shattered like that. Out of the 10 bowls I started with a little over 2 years ago, I have one remaining. And I would never buy that particular bowl ever again for the truck. Now maybe, excuse me, maybe in an apartment, in a house, in a real kitchen, I would probably do that. But, in a truck, no. Plus, I've learned a little bit about a better way to clean, than taking my dishes into the shower with me like I did all the time. Using the disinfectant wipes works so much better, so much faster, so much easier. So that's basically what I do now. I'm not going to really try to do that too often whenever possible. All right, so we're going to we got our broccoli is pretty much done. The hot water will keep it cooking for a little bit longer. We're going to get our beef back on the heat, and we're going to be adding our sauce. Let that caramelize on the beef. At the last minute, we're going to add our green onion here. Throw that in, because we don't want the onion really covered too much with the sauce. We want that to be more of an aromatic and leave some of that crunch in there. Some of that vegetable vitality, that crunch. And then we're going to throw that on top of rice. We're going to sprinkle on some of the toasted sesame seeds and have a pretty decent meal, hopefully. Now, this is the very first time I'm making Mongolian beef, but I'm a YouTube professional, so I see it on YouTube. I become a professional and an expert at everything, so that's how I'm doing it. 9 broken bowls, yes, but that was over a 2-year period, so it wasn't like all at once. But there you go. So get that hot. So water, soy sauce, brown sugar, ginger, garlic, black pepper, red pepper flake. Get that right there. Like I said, we want to caramelize that on the beef. So we're going to let that get nice and warm and let that sugar be the thickening agent for the most part. We're going to add a little bit of cornstarch to this as well. If I can figure out where to put it. There we go. We're going to take the fork here. We're just going to add just a touch. There's already cornstarch on the beef, but that was prior. So we're going to let that come up and get nice and hot. And like I said, like that brown sugar to provide that sweetness, that a bit of caramel taste to it, but it's also going to thicken as well as along with the cornstarch. So that's inside. So we definitely want to make sure that comes up to a good boil. Because if it doesn't come to a boil, it's not going to do what we want it to do. And of course, we can add more black pepper, more garlic, more red pepper flake, more ginger after on the top of it if we wanted to go that route. We don't have to. Like I said, that's one of those personal touches, you know. All right. Ooh, that's starting to smell yummy. The sauce is thickening up. Take a look at that. So that sauce is starting to thicken up. So we're going to let that go just a little bit more. So while we do that, we're going to get a couple of bowls out here to start serving up. There we go. There we go. So a nice little bit of rice there. We're not going to put too much on the plate to start. Let that really caramelize the beef on the beef there. Now this is a nice little wok. I got 2 of these through Amazon. I think it's called Ecolution or Ecovusion, Evolution or something like that. Ecolovution. I can't remember the exact what they're trying to do. They're trying to say evolve with the ecology, but we're going to turn that. Go ahead and turn that off. And like I said, at the very last minute, we're adding some green onion. Nice big pieces. So you can actually tell that they're in there. They just don't disappear. Like I said, we basically just want to warm the green onion through for the most part. All right. Okay, where are we at? There. All right. So we're going to scoop off a little bit of that. Let's plate that up, you know, somewhat pretty, like they do in the restaurants, where they charge you $7,000 a plate. White ones there. A little bit of sesame seed. Hopefully it comes through somewhat decently. Here, a little bit. I guess you want more of the flowerets. Yes? Okay. There you go. Some small ones here. There we go. Can we get you a fork here? There we go. I'm gonna give myself a plate. Nope. I'll do the broccoli on the side there. Like I said, I prefer the stems of broccoli more than the florets, so I'm going to kind of hog those pieces. All right. Somebody wants a little more of the old sauce there. And I can put that to the side there. There we go. So let's get this plated up here. I'm going to go ahead and throw this back on turn the old fire back on here. I'm going to finish off the rest of the sauce here. Might as well. Waste not, want not, right? So we'll get that to the boil again. Fresh broccoli. I don't like, doing a lot that is pre-made, pre-done. Where is your dinner? I don't know what you're having. You didn't come knock on my door, so I can't give you any. So, like I said, got a little more of the sesame seed here if you want to. There you go. Get that cornstarch off there. So here we go. A little beef and broccoli. A little bit of green onion. Like I said, some fresh red chilies by Yay Big. Would probably be just perfect. We will see. Cook up the rest, the last little bit of this sauce here. Let's give this the old taste test. Fairly tender beef. The spice is more towards the front of the mouth, not only the back of the mouth where I prefer, back here. That's where I prefer to feel spice. Up here in the top of the mouth, in the cheek, on the tongue, right in the very front. I don't like feeling spice there because that's where other flavors reside. I like feeling the spice all the way in the back. But that's pretty good. Thank you for those of you who voted for Mongolian beef. S. Banks, Brad Parks, Matt Hazelden, and Carol Spomer. Thank you all very much for being the 4 people that voted for that. Dessert. Yeah, somebody turned their head around, said dessert. Of course, yeah, we gotta have dessert, but we don't have anything on the truck besides a little bit of chocolate and, she said she can make it. So there you go. Meemaw Matters, how you doing? So, like I said, so this is boiling again, so we got a little bit more. That'll thicken up here a little bit. And I got a little bit of broccoli left over, so I can have broccoli and rice. I can throw that together, a little bit of soy sauce on that. I'll be happy. That'll be my dessert, I think. If you want a little more sauce, this is going to be thickened up in just a moment. All right, so what's the opinion so far?
You're asking me?
Yeah, what's the opinion so far?
It's good. I want more rice and more sauce.
Rice is there. Sauce is boiling away here, getting nice and thick. So we can get down in there. There we go.
I thought you were asking their opinion.
They're not eating it.
No, what do they think though about it?
Well, they can vote on it. They don't get to think about it. They seem to be enjoying what we did, but like I said, simple recipe. First time I've personally made this. There's a couple of tweaks that I would do a little bit more differently. I don't think we added enough ginger, personally. I don't think I added enough garlic. Definitely some fresh chilies, not dried, fresh off the plant chilies. Nice red ones with a good, not so sweet flavor, but a good spice to them, a good crunch to them. I think would be perfect in this. More green onions. I definitely could go for that as well. Maybe even have some more yellow onion in there. All right, I think this is pretty much done. So if you want a little more sauce, a little more rice. All right. Somebody has been eating way too much lately. No more. All right. Nice and hot. Good. And I'll just dump the rest on mine here. Why not? So, easy peasy. And of course, thank you all. The meal that I really wanted, we started out with 13 ideas for the week. We kind of narrowed it down. Well, I narrowed it down. I narrowed it down to 5 as per usual. I really wanted to go with meatball subs, but it didn't make the cut. So we didn't do meatball subs this week. I do have some ground beef up in here. I have bread that's going a little bit past its prime. I got all those spices that I would want to put in there. I can make some fresh meatballs, which I'm not going to argue with. I can make a good sauce to go with that. Good tomato sauce. Get a hoagie roll, get a sub roll, or whatever, whatever you want to call it. Get some good cheese, some peppers, some onions, maybe a side of fries, or a bag of chips, whatnot, and chow down on a good 12-inch long sub roll. So. Like I said, a little bit more, ginger, a little more garlic, and maybe a little bit more on the red pepper. I think we would, it needs to be just a little bit more spicy. Maybe not, because now it's sitting. It's starting to really, like I said, get in the back of the throat there. But overall, well, old bread either goes in pudding to make a bread pudding, stuffing, which we'll have to do one day in the truck. I have a couple ways of doing stuffing in a pan, or croutons. That's what I do with old bread. All right, so a good simple meal. Well, thank you, Sister Lynn. I do appreciate that. Sloppy Joes. I've actually had that suggestion, Diana, multiple times. I've had Sloppy Joes told me that multiple times. Now, I personally have never found a Sloppy Joe recipe that I truly like. Most of them are either too bland, too beefy, or too tomatoey. I never found that right balance, between the beef and the tomato and the garlic. I just never have found a good recipe for that. So I'm still on the search for that. Sloppy Joes are one of those things where it's more of a kid's meal. I'd rather do shredded beef, a shredded pork, a shredded chicken barbecue sandwich, which we did not too long ago. Christina was kind enough to make that, and I was very happy with that. Feed old to the Badgers, huh? There you go.
For number 10.
Yep. So.
I'm gonna have you submit what you like.
Oh, really? I just got put on the spot.
That's what you said.
But so we are going to find some things that are good. Yeah, using a good ciabatta bread, a baguette, a somewhat dense bread. Pan fry it on a medium heat with butter, olive oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of Italian seasoning, whatever herb you like. You can even, like I said, you can do it with chili flakes. You can do it with, you can do all kinds of things to make fresh croutons. I did pick up another bag, another soup mix with some potato soup. Better than the last one I did live on camera. That one wasn't so good. The rest, the one I got is the one I really like. Let me see if I can find the bag here. So this is Bear Creek. This potato soup I really, really enjoy. More than most anything else. Now, I will dice up and boil another a whole potato to put in there to get some real meat, some real substance to it as well. Or if I'm ever in a hurry, I will take instant potatoes like this and add it to it to give it a really thick, rich flavor, and consistency. Of course, add garlic, and then you put a little bit of cheese on top, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of chive, and also croutons, fresh made croutons. Always add something to a tomato soup, to potato soup, to a salad. I mean, make your own croutons and see how much better your salad tastes, without question. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming in. This is going to be a little bit shorter one. We had things kind of a little bit, set up a little bit ahead of time. So, but we're good. Rarely do I have milk on the truck, except in condensed milk cans. Like this morning, I made cream of wheat this morning. I used condensed milk in that to give it that creamy flavor. So I do have condensed milk. Usually if I have milk, it's just a one little 16-ounce bottle. I don't eat a lot of cereal. When I do, I buy it specifically for that particular meal, is when I'll buy the milk. But A, I don't have the room in here. Two, if I don't want it right immediately, it goes bad too fast. So it's better just to buy it precisely when I need it. When I was in an apartment, in a house, I had powdered milk. I had a gallon of milk. I had all that stuff. So, condensed milk, evaporated milk, dulce leche. I had all kinds of varieties of stuff. I made my own butter, so I always had heavy whipping cream. Made my own butter, made my own buttermilk, made my own ice cream, made my own, like I said, dulce leche. Made my own cheese. I used to do all that stuff when I had the room, when I have a real refrigerator to do that with. If I had a refrigerator that wasn't, this size, but was more this size, I might have milk on the truck more than that. But that's one of those ingredients. I buy it right immediately when I'm going to use it. Powdered milk is good when I make lots of bread. It works in that cases, but for the most part, a couple of small cans of condensed milk of evaporated milk on the truck, and that's really all I have besides butter and cheese. That's the dairy I usually have on the truck. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for coming in, everybody who voted. Bonnie Marie Kilgore, Angela Soto, i.e. Trucker Girl Kiana, Wanda Wyatt, how you doing, Wanda? S. Banks, Brad Parks, Matt Hazelton, Carol Spomer, Huawei, Salty Dog, Diane S.G., DMV Dining Diva. Chili is always a favorite. I had a can of Hormel chili today for lunch. Over 50 and Fantabulous, Sister Lynn, always nice having you. Wanda Wyatt. Let's see who else there. Linda Barker, sorry. Always good to have you. Ross Romes. Cashew chicken is always something I've been wanting to try. Have not. See, Mima's Matters. Thank you much for coming in. I appreciate it. Let's see here. We had a whole bunch of new people that Midlife Trucker, Mr. Tom Bell. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Gemma Harvey. Let's see here. Lori's Crochet Corner 2. Ma'am, always glad to have you in whenever you can. I know our schedules conflict with going live. Fleffinator, good. Two Old Vets, thank you. Tan's World, thank you much. And that's about as far as it's going to let me go back. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for dinner number 9, which will be next Sunday, barring anything that may adversely happen. Thank you, Mima. I do appreciate it. And like I said, I hope to catch you next Sunday for dinner number 9. We will have 5 new dishes. We'll see if we can come up with, I think, a couple of Pakistani dishes, if Christina is going to feel obliged, or at least tell me how to do it, because I would like to learn. That's not my normal sphere. Chinese, Japanese, Italian, European, basic Americana. That's my normal forte of food. She has a little bit more of the Indian, Pakistani, Middle Eastern type flair. She knows a lot more about that than I ever have. So I rely on her to teach me how to do that. So maybe we'll come up with a dish or 2 next week, and we'll see what we can do. Fish, I've done 1 fish dish, and it came off fairly well. We will see, we'll see what we can do. I do have some tempura batter on here. So the tempura, Japanese style cuisine, nikujaku, ramen, soba, sushi, tempura, something like that maybe on the menu as well. So you may see fish in that capacity. Fish and chips, beef, lamb, pork. I do it all. Christina doesn't do pork as much. I like pork. A good pork chop never was a thing for me to turn down. I mean, I'm kind of greedy when it comes to pork. I love pork, but we do what we can, and we'll do everything. We're always going to try something new. We're always going to have a few dishes on the menu that are comfort food that I really like. Sometimes Christina's going to be putting more of her desired meals on there. The Mongolian beef here was actually one of her suggestions, and I have not been disappointed with what's been selected so far. So I'm happy with that. Still good. Still hot.
Very good.
So, chicken, turkey, duck, beef, lamb, ham, pork, battered fish. I think we might do one of them turducken things. Let's just stuff all those together into one thing. Let's be really daring. Let's make a Peking duck and hang it up in the truck to dry, like they do in the Chinese shops. If I had the room, I would. If I didn't think I would get pelted in the middle of the night with it. But we are going to say thank you, everybody, for coming along. Next Saturday, I know I didn't do it this Saturday. We were a bit busy with driving and having a truck problem. So we're still waiting for repairs. So yesterday was not a day I could really do anything. Did a bit of construction today, bit of work, with storage today, bit of cleaning, bit of organizing, and otherwise vegging out. So thank you very much for coming, everybody. I do appreciate it, as always. And a little bit of heads up, dinner number 10 is going to be a audience choice. Well, kind of a reverse audience choice. I want you guys to make a suggestion for a meal. Now, we need a little bit more lead time on this one. So dinner number 9 will be posted, and then dinner number 10 will be posted for at least for YouTube immediately. Unfortunately, Facebook only gives me 7 days, so I can't post on Facebook as fast as I can on YouTube. But dinner number 9 will be 5 selections that we make that you guys vote on. Dinner number 10 is going to be a special dinner, kind of a milestone. We've done the audience choice that many times. You guys are going to make the vote by suggesting the actual dish. Me and Christina will vote on which one we want to do. So you choose the meal, we vote on it and make it. So a little bit of a switch up for dinner number 10. So get your ideas ready to go. We're not going to do things like beef Wellington or some super complex thing. It has to be within our capabilities of doing it. Our tools, our knowledge, and what we can actually get from the stores. So we need a little bit more lead time on that. So we're going to post that a little bit earlier. Of course, the Facebook announcement will come 7 days. So with dinner number 9, I'll resubmit it to add Facebook into that and post it to the Facebook forums for cooking that I'm on. But we definitely look forward to seeing what you guys what your favorite meals are, and then we'll vote on that for dinner number 10 to make in the truck. But Mongolian barbecue tonight, tongue-tied, I always want to say barbecue. That's a little bit different type of a dish. That's more of a stir-fry type dish. But we're not going to do that. So, Mongolian beef with broccoli came out pretty dang good, I think. Try it yourself. We use several YouTube videos to see what the basic ingredients were. You didn't see I didn't measure anything, just kind of threw it together. Was it okay? I got a very good. So this may be one of those things we do again off camera. A little bit of tweak here and there, but I think we'll be good with that.
It's great on a rainy night.
Yeah, we got the after effects of the hurricane here in Emerson, Georgia. A little bit. Hey, Diana, you said the magic words. Beef bourguignon, my number 1 favorite meal. Beef bourguignon. Well, it's kind of a tie. Beef bourguignon and pumpkin pie. Those are my 2 number 1 things to eat. If I only had a choice for one of them, I would have to have a real hard think about that. Julia Child's beef bourguignon is very good. I do it a slightly bit different. I don't have as large of vegetables in it. I like pearl onions in mine. I like mushrooms in mine. Little button mushrooms, real small mushrooms. I like a little bit of bacon in mine. But beef bourguignon is very difficult to do. Number 1, finding burgundy in anything other than, a 2/5 or in a magnum is very difficult to do. Almost nobody makes burgundy wine in a small container. Like a 1/2. Well, I don't know what they call that size bottle. But a regular liter, a regular quart, nobody makes that. It's always in the big, in a jug, a 2/5 jug, a 1/5, a magnum. They always make them in those bottles. And the real problem with me with being in the truck, I cannot have alcohol in the truck. So I would have to do that outside on a day that we have good weather and we're away from a lot of other trucks with a lot of other noise. So that would always be a difficult thing because I cannot bring alcohol into the trucks. Yeah, Wanda, thanks a lot. You're not helping me any. Risotto. I love risotto. I love a good porcini and Parmesan Reggiano risotto. I do not know how to make a fast risotto. Risotto that I learned was from an actual Italian, a first-generation immigrant. Her mother did not speak any English. But with translation, I learned how to make a real Southern Italian risotto. I wish I had the 5 hours on camera to do it right. No, Diana, no. You do not put vinegar in your beef bourguignon. Use wine and let that break down into the vinegar taste. I'm going to have to call you that. No. We're not going to do that. Well, I'm going to disagree with you. Oh, she does have pearl onions? Okay, well, see, it's been a while since I did her recipe one time at, let's see, that's almost 36 years ago was the very first time I made beef bourguignon. And you want to know how hard it is to get Burgundy wine, A, in Japan, B, on a military base. I couldn't do it. I could not get it on the military base that we were at. I could not get it anywhere in the area I was at. I had to get on the train. I had to get on 3 trains. I had to go 50 kilometers on the north side of Tokyo, when all was said and done, to be able to find one place that had Burgundy, and it was actually a restaurant. I had to beg for it, and I almost had to bribe them. They really did not want to give me a bottle of Burgundy, but I guess I showed enough pity and misery and desperation that they finally caved in, and they gave me a small bottle, less than this Kikkoman bottle. This is 17 ounces. It was a little bit smaller than this, and that's all the Burgundy I had. But it came out fantastic, and I fell in love with that dish immediately. That's probably the furthest I've ever had to go, besides getting on a fishing boat or go hunting for an ingredient, I ever had to do. No, I am not using vinegar. I refuse to cut that corner. No, I have to use real Burgundy. Beef bourguignon. Burgundy. That's the only way I will do it. That's like saying using sweet potatoes to make pumpkin pie. Ain't doing it. But oh yeah, I mean, like I said, risotto, it has to be done slow. It's a process. If you don't go slow, it doesn't get that super creamy, rich, deep flavor. Like I said, when it comes to food, I'm going to do it right. I said I don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs, never have, never will. I cook. Well, this is Kikkoman brand soy sauce. You get this anywhere you need, any store. I got these 2 at Walmart. This is a Japanese brand. It's the only brand of soy sauce I like. La Choy, all the other brands that are out there, even other Japanese brands, I do not like. This is the only one I like. And I'll demonstrate how much I like this. Skull. Love it. Right up there with pickle juice. I shouldn't have done that. Pardon me. That's the only soy sauce I will ever use. Like I said, I can pretty much. Woo, that's a shot of salt. But I can easily do a shot of that without a problem. So let me finally say thank you very much. Appreciate it. Keep getting yeah. So we're gonna finish eating dinner here. Then we got to clean up, which is always the fun part. the cleanup and the putting things away, getting things put in the refrigerator and the cabinets, and then enjoying the rest of the night. So I think it was a successful meal. Thank you for the meal selection there, Christina. I appreciate it.
So good.
And thank you for voting on it. I do appreciate it. So please remember, next Saturday we should have a meal, which will be something that Christina or I choose to make. Sunday, well, I'll try to post by Monday or Tuesday the meal selection for this next coming Sunday, dinner number 9. And like I said, dinner number 10 is going to be your suggestion of a dish to make. And we will take those in, write those down, and we will vote on it and make that for dinner number 10. A little bit different. Now, if anybody remembers, the very first audience choice dinner I did was where you selected every ingredient and how I used it. I may do that again for dinner number 20. We'll see how it goes. So, we're going to finish our dinner. Yes, ma'am. I will eat my dinner before it gets too cold. The rice is holding that temperature pretty good, so we're good. So, thank you all very much for coming. I do appreciate it. If you are on Facebook, I'd always try to post something that I'm eating or doing at the time regarding the kitchen, regarding new things that I've gotten. So, salt and pepper grinders, electrically powered, which I never thought I would use. But I'll let you talk about the broken dishes. I'm already over it. But here is besides making tempura, which I've not done the truck, we got a sous vide machine. We're going to be doing some thing with sous vide, with poached eggs, poached fish, and everything else. So keep an eye out for when we use that, and I post on Facebook. I do have a Instagram account. I might try to post there as well a little more frequently. Try to. I was thinking of setting up a Facebook page for This Trucker's Life Cooking. But I also have another channel, which I'm going to be putting a lot of food on, which I'm going to try to broadcast when I do these live streams, called Hungry for the Road, which is going to be primarily just the food, the kitchen stuff. That's also going to be on YouTube and hopefully Facebook. We'll see how it goes. So thank you all very much for coming. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you later. Saturday, Sunday, 2 new meals. Hope you all vote. And we will be making call-outs now for who voted for what, so you know who to blame or who to congratulate for the meal, besides me. So, thank you everybody who voted for this meal. I do appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. God bless and good night. Have a good day.